One of the most liberating and surprisingly joyful side effects of weight loss is how it opens up the world of style. We rarely talk about this openly. Fashion is supposed to be about expression, not size, but anyone who's ever stood in a poorly lit fitting room with limited options and a sinking feeling knows the truth. Shopping when you're carrying excess weight can feel like a strategic game of damage control. What fits? What hides? What stretches enough? But once the weight begins to come off, something shifts, both physically and psychologically. Clothing begins to feel less like armor and more like art. You're no longer dressing just to cover your body, you're dressing to celebrate it. At its core, this is about proportion and fit. Clothing is designed, for better or worse, with certain body dimensions in mind, often based on standardized sizing that favors slim, symmetrical figures. This means that when someone has a larger or rounder body, finding pieces that both fit well and express personal style becomes a frustrating, limited exercise. You're not choosing between looks, you're choosing between what works. But as the body becomes slimmer and more proportionate through weight loss, suddenly you're not stuck in that loop. The zipper goes up without a fight. The waistband sits where it's supposed to. The sleeves don't squeeze your arms like they're mad at you. You stop avoiding styles you used to love, fitted jackets, tucked-in blouses, bold prints, because now they actually look how they were intended to. And that opens up a creative freedom that many people didn't even realize they were missing. Weight loss doesn't change your personality or your fashion sense, but it allows your taste to finally come to life, without compromise. Maybe you've always wanted to try a more tailored, chic look but couldn't find pieces that draped well. Maybe you've dreamed of high-waisted jeans, crop tops, or those structured jumpsuits that previously made you feel like you were wrestling with a tarp. With a slimmer body, those styles start to feel accessible. You try them on and instead of, well, this kind of works, it's, oh, this actually looks great. The joy in that moment is real and hard-earned. There's also something to be said about confidence and experimentation. When people feel better in their bodies, they take more stylistic risks. They're more willing to wear bright colors, bold cuts, or unexpected accessories, not to hide, but to stand out. And fashion responds to that energy. A confident posture, a well-fitting outfit, and a body that feels balanced. That's a visual trifecta that elevates even the simplest look. You could be wearing a plain white tee and jeans, but if you feel great in them, it shows. That's the difference between clothes wearing you and you owning your style. Weight loss can also reduce the need for workarounds. You no longer have to layer shapewear just to feel secure in a dress. You don't have to size up just in case. You're not stuck searching for that elusive fabric that won't cling or ride up or make you sweat. Instead, your closet begins to reflect your preferences, not your limitations. Shopping becomes an exercise in possibility, not damage control. And as your clothing options expand, so does your ability to show the world who you are: playful, elegant, edgy, classic, whatever your style may be. Even the little things become more fun. Belts start to be accessories again, not waist trainers in disguise. You get to play with silhouette, structured blazers, flowing skirts, tapered pants, without having to fight fabric. And for many people, this return to style is deeply emotional. It's not about vanity. It's about finally seeing a version of yourself you've always known was in there, now reflected in the mirror and dressed exactly the way you imagined. So yes, weight loss can boost health, energy, and self-esteem, but it can also make getting dressed feel exciting again. Not because you're chasing some fashion ideal, but because for the first time in a long time, the clothes in your life are finally keeping up with you.